The 2025 season is at the halfway point. We've ranked the best teams in Formula One this season. We're going to rank the top 3 worst teams so far this season at the halfway point of the 2025 season. And let me tell you something. In third place, we're going to kick things straight off. Red Bull. Oh yes, absolutely. Look, we understand what's happening at Red Bull. It's been calamitous. What's been going on over the last year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, has been hell on earth with them. Whether it's behind the scenes, whether it's on track now. The fact that on track right now is the effect, okay? We've recently seen Christian Horner be dismissed of his duties, okay? And Red Bull have been going through a lot of turmoil. And you probably go back to even when Dieter Mateschitz had died, right? Like that, the owner of Red Bull, that was a massive shake-up in the camp. There's a lot of crazy politics going on with Red Bull, where you've got the Thai owners as well as the Austrian owners, and there's a lot of conflict of interest. There's all sorts going on, and it's interfering with the day-to-day running. Max Verstappen is having to carry this team again on his back. You know Red Bull are 4th in the Constructors' Championship with 172 points? With 172 points after 12 races. To give you context, Ferrari have 222 and in second place. Mercedes 210, and they've got a rookie in one of their cars in Kimi Antonelli. Max Verstappen 165 points himself. It's been hell on earth. They have not got this right. They have not got it together at all, Red Bull. They've stunk the joint. They did and they stunk from last year when they sacked Sergio Perez. Sacking Sergio Perez was an absolute disgrace, and now it's proven to be a disaster. So you have that situation. You then bring in Liam Lawson, who I was never convinced of them bringing in. What were they thinking bringing in Liam Lawson? Okay, it's a brand new season. Let's see how he gets on. And the thing I've learned about these regulations from like 22, 23 season to now is that this regulations are for the boys, for the new boys, for the new kids on the block. And maybe, you know, because when you look at like your Danny Ricciardos, when you look at like your Sebastian Vettels, your Lewis Hamiltons, they're not doing as well as, say, you know, like what Charles Leclerc potentially did, what George Russell has been doing, what Lando Norris has been doing, Oscar Piastri's been doing, these kind of people. So I thought, okay, let's see what Liam Lawson does. That man gave him 2 races. He stunk the joint, don't get me wrong, but they gave him 2 races. And now they're in a situation where they've put in Yuki Tsunoda, and guess what? He can do nothing better than Lawson or Perez. The results are horrendous in the drivers in this season. The results are absolutely horrendous, and I don't know how Red Bull rescued this situation. But one thing I will say, they should never be P4. They should be having the right, correct driver, or sorting out the car, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is they need to do, they need to be doing this now. They need to hurry up and get this over the line. And I cannot believe we're in a scenario where Red Bull Racing, the once dominant, unbelievably, and when Red Bull are dominant, my goodness, they take it with them. When they were winning championships under Sebastian Vettel, they were taking it to teams. They were absolutely annihilating seasons. They had record-breaking seasons then, winning, 9 races in a row, Sebastian Vettel. We then get to 2023, and then we have never seen anything like it. Was it Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen winning every single race? Was it like the Carlos Sainz victory somewhere in there? Crazy stuff. They were dominating Formula One championships. And this has just gone awry. You know, and I expect teams to go through hardships when the driver leaves, you know, like the 4-time Formula One world champion leaves, or, you know, a driver that's, even whether that's Sebastian Vettel or Max Verstappen, right? You expect that to be the case. But this team has still got Max Verstappen. And even then, it still had Sebastian Vettel when he stayed an extra year, or 2 years even. And it just failed miserably. Yuki Tsunoda is stinking up the joint and nobody wants to talk about it. I certainly have. Check the card above, because I'm not having that. I'm not having that from what Yuki Tsunoda's been pulling up this season. But Red Bull have had an absolute disaster. They're in an absolute mess. They need to get themselves sorted out. Whether it's to fix this car that nobody can seem to drive except Max Verstappen, or people are saying, you know, they've suited the car to Max Verstappen. Do you know what McLaren are doing at this moment in time? They're kind of giving both their drivers a different type of car at this moment in time. That's what they're currently doing. So why don't you do that, Red Bull? Why don't you just say, do you know what, Max, like he can deal with this car here, or just listen to the drivers, listen to what they're saying. They can't do this, they can't do that. They're like right now, Yuki Tsunoda is being used as a guinea pig, as a little tester out there. He's doing absolutely nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing in that team. So that's what I would say. Third place is Red Bull. I've rambled too long. Second place on this list, on the podium, Ferrari. I know they are P2 in the Constructors' Championship. I know they've got 222 points. I know they've got Sir Lewis Hamilton and they've got Charles Leclerc. But let's have it right. If you doubled Ferrari's points now, do you think they'll be first? The answer is no. You're incorrect if you think that they will be. If McLaren have 460 points in first place, what gives you the right to be second place with 222 points? What are we doing here? What is actually happening to the team that is Ferrari, the biggest team in the world, right? Are they the Real Madrid or are they the Manchester United? Because they are behaving like Man United. A team that has not won anything in years, decades. I did a video on them as well about that, up in the card section below, above. They are not winning races anymore. They're not winning championships. They're not winning drivers' championships. And at the beginning of this current regulations, we thought that Ferrari would actually be back. Do you remember that title challenge in 22 with Max Verstappen? You remember Charles Leclerc was winning a race. Ferrari were getting podiums, 2 podiums, double podium finishes, 1-2 finishes. And then, I kid you not, you blinked about maybe 4 or 5 races later. You wouldn't have thought it was a title race when Max Verstappen won in 22. You would have not thought it was a title race at all. But also, like, where on earth have they gone? Where have Ferrari gone? Like last season, they pushed McLaren to the final race of the season to for McLaren to win the Constructors' Championship, right? So Ferrari were so close to McLaren, and you would think, right, we're going to move on now and progress and hopefully give McLaren another battle, give them another title challenge. This is not a title challenge in terms of the Constructors. And they look unhappy. Nobody knows what's going on. You look at Lewis Hamilton, you look at Charles Leclerc. They don't know if they're coming or going. It's a shambles. And what they've done is they completely tore up what they did last year. And they're having to start over. They're just lucky Mercedes has a rookie in one of their cars. And they're lucky that there's no second driver in the Red Bull car. Because they would be P4 in the Constructors' Championship quite comfortably. If the other 2 teams couldn't get their act together. And you know what? Mercedes haven't been doing too bad, in fairness to them, right? They haven't been doing too bad. Red Bull, you heard what I've had to say about them. But Ferrari should have been the one nail-bitingly close, chipping at the heel of McLaren, especially in the Constructors. They don't even look like they're going to win a race. And somehow, Hamilton won the Chinese sprint race and got a Chinese sprint pole. How? I don't know. But you know what's funny? Because the car sometimes is there. But what flops them? The strategy. The direction, the sense of direction. I made a video about why I think Christian Horner should be the Ferrari team principal. I genuinely mean this. This is not clickbait. I genuinely mean it because Ferrari needs a rocket up their backside. Bear this in mind. They've not won a Constructors' Championship, since 2007 or 8 even? 2008? And they haven't won a Drivers' Championship since 2007. Ferrari we're talking about. And they've had Vettel. They've had Alonso. They've had some, they've got Kimi Raikkonen again. Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, they've got Lewis Hamilton. Another driver after another driver after another driver. They're just going to waste down the pan. You couldn't make it up. If you said to me in 2007, Ferrari will never win a championship again, and the year is 2025, I would say you're on drugs. Get tested. And yet before our very eyes. And Ferrari are getting away with it. Because we love Ferrari so much. They're the biggest team in the world, aren't they? Shambolic is all I can say about Ferrari. But let me tell you something. There is a team worse than them this year. It has to be the Alpine. The most horrendous team in Formula One. The most horrendous team in Formula One. This team has been a joke for years. 4 years. And the reason I call them more of a joke than, say, Ferrari at least are at the sharp end being a joke. Alpine are in the middle, then they're at the back. They are 10th in the Constructors' Championship. Behind Haas. behind Aston Martin, behind Kick Sauber, behind Racing Bulls, Williams. Alpine, do you remember this is the team, like, you know, when you remember them as Renault, they were like the third, fourth biggest team at least in terms of, you know, they were fighting at the sharp end of the midfield, trying to peek into that top 3. And they are languishing in 10th in the Constructors' Championship. 10 points behind Haas. So they're 10th on merit. This is good measure. This isn't just me like rambling about them. Alpine are a farce. The sackings that are going on left, right, and centre. We have a situation. We've got 21 drivers already racing in Formula One when we got there after like race 6 or 7, because we've got Colapinto in there. We had Jack Doohan in there. We've got Pierre Gasly in there. And so the question, even now, by the way, Colapinto was given a 5-race review. So now what do we do? And Colapinto's done nothing in that Alpine niche. Nothing more than Jack Doohan has done. And for Jack Doohan to lose his place, horrendous. Don't get me wrong, I prefer Franco Colapinto to Jack Doohan in just talent, like based on them two just alone. But if you start the season with Jack Doohan and you sort of sack him, or you put him on probation, let's say, for the time being, so that we can see what Franco can do, and then we'll assess both. You're not hiding to nothing. Oaks has gone as team principal already. Flavio Briatore was here last year, like on the wing, like kind of sitting on the outside, non-executive advisor, and he's now become the head honcho. And I like Flavio Briatore, I really do. And Flavio is the man. He's the man. He needs to sort this mess out. And I do think, though, the thing I will say is this: if you're an Alpine fan, I will say this: there is hope, because I think Flavio knows how to put pieces in play, and I think he will do so. So there is hope with Alpine, but they stink, and they've stunk for a long time, and they stink now. Last year they turned up with a car that was overweight. This year the only thing good about Alpine is the livery. It's a sensational livery. But that's the only thing that's good about them this season. So yeah, there you have it. That's my worst team so far at the midway point. They're 10th in the championship with 19 points. They're behind Haas, Racing Bull, Kick Sauber, Aston Martin, Williams. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They need to get their ideas, buck their ideas up, and let's see what happens to them. If you think that my top 3 were sensational, smash like on the video. If you think that they were harsh, though, do hit the comment section. Let's have a discussion. Talk to me. Why do you think these teams are the best, the worst 3 to have? And who do you think escaped? Who do you think dodged a bullet here on this list? YouTube thinks you like this video over here, so make sure you do go check that out. And let me tell you something, boy. Until next time, lights out.